now if you're mobile and want to do a lot of adventure. Okay, just to give you all a clue, we had a meeting, and Ed, you were there, Pamela, discussing some ideas about what are we going to do to keep this club viable. I mean, we have done some great things already. I mean, in the first, my goodness, in what, 5 months, we have a community project, we have a global grant project, we have money coming in from other clubs. In fact, I just received notice from the Lacey Rotary Club that we're going to get $100 from them.
Wonderful.
Victoria Rotary Club is sending us $100. I just received from the Gig Harbor Midday Rotary Club another 100. So we have about $1,300.
That's great.
From other clubs for our community grant project, the one we looked at from what was the club called? World Possible. The lady who, Nicole, who gave us that program a while back. I hope both of you have gone online to our website and looked at that. Anyway,
I will.
It's a wonderful program, and it's all about the Rachel Pi, the online learning system that for mobile remote places. And Fred Wright from our club, he and his wife have, if we decide to go that route and do it, they have committed to fund half of a project.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
Very, very.
So for, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for about $2,400, you can literally do an entire school. We have, as a club now, almost $1,300 to put into it. If they fund the other half, my goodness, we have already done an entire school. And right now, we don't know where. It could be Kenya. It could be Guatemala. I'm promoting Guatemala because the Gig Harbor Rotary Club is already active down there. And they work with the Rachel Pi system. And so that's something that maybe we can, if we partner with them, we can, what's the word I want? For our we can leverage. We can leverage our money considerably by joining with them, and if they're big enough that maybe they can do an even bigger project, and we can be a partner. So anyway, an idea.
Very good.
Okay.
Who determines where it goes?
That will be up to the club, Ed. The club will decide whether it's Kenya. Actually, one of our here's the thought. We would work with Nicole and say we have enough money now to be a serious partner in a project. And Nicole can guide us either to Kenya or to Guatemala. I would like to bring Jeff Harris in from the Gig Harbor Club to let us know a little bit more about what we're doing, right? And see if I can move that, make that better. And let us know what they're doing, where they're at, right? So it'll be a discussion, and it'll be something that we'll probably, do. There we go. Do or commit to in the summer after the first of the new Rotary year. But what we'll be able to do is leverage and do so much more. But it's up to the club to make the final decision.
Right.
So
up
we
to
can
the Gig Harbor Club.
Well, our club actually, Ed. We can contact Nicole and say what do you have available. Yeah. We can talk to Jeff and maybe have Jeff do a program with us and say, this is what we're thinking about doing next. And then the club can make a decision. Do we go to Kenya? Do we go to Guatemala on our own? Or do we go to Guatemala with the Gig Harbor Club?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, so yeah, it's open right now, right?
What's the timeline for an event like that?
Apparently it's really quick. Gig Harbor already has projects, what do I want to say?
Guatemala?
They have Guatemala projects already. Nicole from World Possible, has clubs, has projects that are waiting for somebody to fund.
Right.
So it's a question of getting with her, getting with Jeff and say, okay, what's available? How soon? And then what kind of funds? And then our club makes a decision based on what we have available and what Fred and his wife have committed to.
Right.
So we're looking at our club probably has, if I count in Fred's money, we're close to $2,000 to
That's
be able to
great.
do something as a Rotary Club.
That's
Very
fantastic.
good.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Very good.
very good. So I was hoping for more people tonight. Cynthia said she's going to sign on a little bit later. Haven't heard from Troy. Sean's bicycling in Slovenia or something. So anyway, I would like to, I'm going to skip a lot of the formal agenda because there are not enough of us here for a quorum to vote on the budget that Fred put together.
Mhm.
But I would like to talk to you two about, and Ed was on the meeting, Pamela,
Yeah.
last week, talking about what do we do to make this club viable?
Yes.
What do we do about membership? What do we do about meetings? And Fred had a great idea because we're a new club and we're innovative.
Mhm.
Why don't we try something really different? How about we only have one formal program per month? In other words, a speaker, right, with an agenda. Then the other meeting will be an open forum.
I think that's a great idea myself,
You know,
especially through the summer months.
yeah, exactly. Because summer is always going to have lean attendance, right, Ed?
Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly right.
Yep. And so what we're looking at is, you know, and the open forum can be just that. We don't even have an agenda. We tell everybody come together. I can put out something that says, here's some issues or here's some points of discussion, right? But the meeting is open and then we'll let it flow and see what comes out of it. I guess the kids used the term today, let it be organic.
Yes.
Let it
Yes.
just happen, right? So that's something that came from Fred. I am going to be participating real soon in a meeting with Eclub 9920. And we're going to have a formal presentation of our twinning partnership or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yes.
Ed, do you have to go open up your pot there and
The alarm just went off. 15.
okay. You're timing that, right?
Yeah, my alarm went off.
That's great. Let's see. So what else to tell you? The other thing is we decided last week is that I will continue to monitor the district website every week for a while and mine all the names of people who have left Rotary.
Oh, okay.
Especially within the district, especially those who said, "Oh, I just can't do a every week at the same time. I can't do a lunch." So we're going to mine that, right?
Right. Yeah.
The other thought I had, and I'll wait till Ed comes back because I had a new thought.
I can hear you.
Oh, can you? Okay, Ed, I had a thought about keeping members in touch with the club who, for some reason, can't make our E-Club meetings regularly, right? And so what I thought about doing is putting together a bulletin and calling it, you know, news from your president. And everything I get from Rotary, that's pertinent to this club. Some things aren't, but because we don't do youth sponsorship yet or things like that. But grant information, other information from other E-Clubs, and I could gather that and maybe twice a month, which wouldn't be too bad, send an email out to all the members with that kind of information. So here's what other E-Clubs are doing. Here's what the twin clubs would like us to participate in. That kind of thing. But anyway, a kind of a regular E-Club bulletin from the president. So if they can't make a regular meeting, I still keep them in contact with what's going on in Rotary.
Right.
So something like that. I think that personally, I think that might be something good. What do you think, Pam?
I do, especially with me right now. I'm with you until August 2nd, and then I have a priority somewhere else on the Thursday evening. But I always want to know what's going on within E-Rotary, especially just so I can keep my eye out, knowing what what you guys have talked about.
I'm thinking too that I could do a recap in that newsletter. I can say, for those of you who missed the last meeting,
Yes.
here's what we discussed. Here's what the program was. Oh, and by the way, here's some more information from Rotary to keep you up to date.
Sounds good. And just bullet points. Nothing really in detail.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe a one-page. Ed, what do you think?
Well, are we on the district website now?
Yes. I mean, you say the district website. Yes, we are members there. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because the district has a
There's
website.
Wade.
Hi, Wade.
Hey, Wade. Hey,
The
Wade.
district has a website, right?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, they do.
So why we can get back to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is that we should be really promoting to get away, as I said earlier, instead of trying to steal members. What we should be saying is, if you're traveling and you want to make up at Rotary, please visit our club.
Yes.
And I think we should really promote that, but promote it in a way that sounds like we just want you to tune in and make up. We're not trying to take you away from your club at all, but just come and see what you're doing. And I think, quite frankly, 10% of the people that actually do drop in, and maybe even higher, as they get to the stage where I am in life, say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not a bad alternative for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're sort of recruiting them, but we're recruiting from the back door, and not offending anybody.
Right.
And that's I'd like to say, in Rotary, you don't want to offend anybody.
No. And I think you're encouraging people to make up, and because we're an e-club, they can make up with us. And
Well,
if they like the format, they could join. They could join if they wanted to, or if not, at least they're making up, and we're getting more numbers on this or members on the screen, right?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
And Bill, just to finish that off, I mean, if I'm in Victoria, let's say I'm a member of the Victoria Club, and I show up at the Sydney Club to make up. They don't say to me, "Oh, come on, why don't you join our club and forget Victoria?" They don't do that. They know I'm there to make up.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we should do the same thing. Look, we're a club where other members can actually make up at.
Yep.
And we should say, look, we're like any other club. Just if you have to make up, we may think of us.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity. Right.
Yeah.
And it's easy because it's not hard to remember. I just typed in e-club. You can type in Google or Internet Explorer, but if you type in the search bar and just say e-club 5020, it's the very first thing that comes up on top. So we can tell people, not only is it easy to make up, it's easy to find us.
Right. Bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was just wondering, when are you going to be a part of the 9920 club? Participate.
I'm working on that right now. Apparently, all the paperwork is signed, all the certificates are signed, and I'm just waiting for Jean-Louis. I love the name, Jean-Louis Nguyen Key.
Sounds like a movie.
He is trying to schedule a meeting where I can be there. And what I will do is once I have that meeting schedule, I'll send it out to the whole club.
Okay.
So anybody in our club who can meet or be there at the time and place.
I would love to. I would love to.
Okay.
Now that I've got.
I will make sure everyone in the club gets that.
Is this the French club?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And we are twinning not only with them, but when we twin with them, we will also be twinning with, we'll be number 35, but 34 other clubs, e-clubs around the world. What that does is exposes us to other people, other projects around the world, other opportunities, right? And may expand our viewership, right? Because other people from other clubs may say, let's see what those people are doing.
Right.
Well, but if you think about it, though, there'll be some restrictions because right now I think it's 2 a.m. in France.
Is it that late? I thought, well,
9
it
hours
is now, is it? But they
9
sometimes flex their meetings too.
It's
So,
actually 3. It's 3 a.m. in France right now.
well, let's see. Yeah, they're 6 hours ahead of us. So yeah, you're right.
9 hours.
Yeah. So anyway, it may have to be, Ed, that some of us would sign on. Let's say, for example, they met at this time. We would be signing on maybe at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. That would be great.
You know, to tune into their meeting, right?
Yeah.
So I will firm it up with Jean-Louis as to when that will happen. I will send it out to all our membership, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then those of us who can, Wade might have to do it, on his phone while he's at a client someplace, but right. But the idea is to get it going, get it started, and we'll see what happens. But I will let everyone know when that is scheduled. Okay.
Good.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
I'm excited about it. And of course, they do things in a big way.
Yeah.
Wade will appreciate this. They will open up the meeting. They have a virtual bell they ring, and then they have a toast.
Yes.
And then we'll be part of the agenda. And what they'll do, most of it will be in French, and some will be in Spanish, some in German, depending upon who's there. But when it gets to our part, of course, out of deference to us, they will do the official twinning in English.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
and I have been on a couple of their meetings, and it's kind of fun. It really is.
Yeah.
So Wade, to bring you up to speed, I told everybody that we had 2 more clubs provide money to us. Fred and his wife have committed to fund a half of a Rachel Pie project.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing, right? And we talked about some of Fred's idea about maybe with our meetings, we only have one formal speaker meeting in a month. And then the other meeting, because we're still a young new club, it's opened up to anything members want to talk about. But I will try to keep us focused on, rather than just all over the place, right?
Right.
What is this discussion leading to? Are we talking about projects? Are we talking about fundraising? That kind of thing. So keep us focused so that out of all those meetings comes something of value, right? To help the club grow.
Right.
Excellent.
Let's see. What did I have on here? I had some other exciting things. Oh, Ed, have you given any consideration? I know it's short to what I asked you.
You saw my answer.
Did I see it? Oh, I didn't see a yes. What I saw was, well, I'm going to be all over Europe this summer. Can that still happen?
Yeah, what I was saying is that I'm gone almost all of July and August.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing really pressing, that if I can do stuff until the 4th and 5th of July, that'd be fine. But I'm gone from there on till September 1st. That's the problem.
And Pamela has obligations too.
Mhm.
This is a flexible club, right?
Yep.
And just to let the rest of you know, I talked to Ed a bit about, because last meeting, Ed said he had some contacts on Vancouver Island that he thought would be viable members for our club. So I asked Ed, would he be willing to be our membership chair, given his schedule? He'll be all over the place for a while, right? In Europe and whatever.
Yeah.
And basically his answer was, if you don't mind me being gone for 2 months, or if I can do this while I'm on the road. And because we're that kind of a club, I told Ed, sure, go for it. So I think we have a membership chair.
Great.
Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you
And
very
by the way,
much,
you
Ed.
guys, this is what a perfect pork Wellington looks like.
Ooh. Oh,
Well
my.
done.
Dude,
Well
put that
done.
up. Oh, that was delicious. We're having something in our out of our, they don't call them, I guess they call them instant cookers now, not pressure cookers.
Oh, Instapot?
Instapot, thank you.
I knew we would have the answer.
Yeah, oh, Wade knows everything.
Oh, God.
We had some kind of have you heard of a ravioli? No, is that right? Yeah, ravioli lasagna. My
No.
grandson found it. His sister sent something in an email, and he says, Grandma, I want that. And so she made it last night, and it's like a lasagna in the Instapot, but it's layers of ravioli. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, it was delicious.
Mm,
And it was made in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
I
bad.
bet the grandson was very proud.
Oh, yes, he was. I don't know if you know, he has developmental disabilities, and his sister is living in Southern California, and she sends these recipes once in a while. And of course, he goes, Grandpa, can we have this? Can we have this? Yes, thank you, and please. So we tried it, and it was delicious. So,
Oh, that's
okay,
great.
I would like to hear from Wade and from Ed talked about that email, and Pamela on what ideas would you like to throw out that we can propose to the rest of the club to be different, be viable and sustainable. What ideas do you have? Let's start with Pamela.
Oh, thank you. Different, viable, and sustainable, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think we already know that we're different with the e-Rotary Club, and sustainable. I wanted to shoot some encouragement into just the four of us, that I was part of a new club in Tacoma, and we started out at like, well, we had to have 20 members to begin with, but it dwindled down and then it built up. And after 4 years now, that club is very viable at 18 members. And so I wanted to just encourage all of us not to feel, especially you, Bill, because you're putting in 90% of the work here, not to feel like we're being rejected or we're not gonna, it's not gonna work, or it is gonna work. And I think what we need to be sustainable is patience and a positive outlook that what we're doing is new. It is new. It's going to take a time for some people to realize, how this will afford them a better opportunity to be members of Rotary without having to attend meetings. And whatever we do, keep it simple, not get into too many details about it. Keep it simple, especially now, whatever our projects are. Because if we get into too many details, that's going to burden us and put a big load, especially on Bill.
So Pam, when you say simple, do you mean, for example, let me just throw this out. Instead of us being the sponsor of a community project,
Right.
We partner.
Exactly.
So it eases us a bit.
I
We're
was going to
still involved. We're still having an impact, but we're letting an established club take the lead until we're bigger and stronger. Is that?
That's way.
Would that be an idea?
Absolutely, Bill. We're way too young to be the lead on anything, and I think we owe it to ourselves as a new club to partner, because we want to get to know people in other clubs. We want them to get to know us. We want our name out there. We want to be active, but that doesn't mean we have to do it alone.
Okay. So
Can you hear me okay?
How does that affect our global grant that we want to do in Shillong? I think that sounds like something we're going to have to take the lead on, right, Pamela?
Well, you know what is interesting? I was just going to bring up I got an email from a fellow from Shillong, and he was attending the international in Toronto. And he wanted to know if he could meet with me there. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I can't attend. But I'm looking on my list right now. We have had, without taking up too much time, we've had back and forth communication. He wants to come and visit. And I am now asking him, what does that mean, visit? Are we going to talk on the telephone, or he wants to talk about the global grant in Shillong, what happened and what could be in the future. He's a member of the Shillong Rotary. He's the president this year. He's a physician, a doctor. So I wrote and said, I'm not living in Tacoma. I explained to him the distance. I explained to him, I live in a very small house. What are your needs if you come to Seattle, Tacoma? Because I'm ready to help take care of you and have conversation. So I'm waiting now to hear back from him. I would for sure hook him up with Parkland Spanaway, because they're the club that initially sponsored the grant. But I'm glad you brought that up, Bill, because I did want to bring it up to you that if it was at all possible to have a special meeting, if he's around, could we do that so that you and other members, if they would like to tune in with him, could do that?
I think that could be that other meeting. I'll ask Wade and Ed, but we talked about having formal speakers at one meeting, but we could have an open, informal meeting, right? The second
yes. That's
That
what I was
might
thinking.
be the time, Pamela, when we would do that, is have him with us, right?
Right,
At that quote second informal meeting, and have an open discussion. What is it you need? What is the scope of the project? That kind of thing, right?
right,
Um,
right.
and while I'm on that, I don't want to lose my train of thought here. Um, you know that we now have to have a community assessment. That is going to be a requirement of Rotary grants next year, which means, and the document is already on. I looked at it today. It's already online at
Okay.
Rotary. Um, if he is serious about this, Pamela, what I would
Yes,
recommend is you get with him in your conversations. Go on to Rotary. It's very easy. Go on to Rotary.org. Go to Foundation. Find community assessment, and there is a document there, right, already
all right, all right.
on how to do a community assessment. And I would suggest that before if he's serious about coming over here, before he comes over here, he fills out that document, because he would be
Okay,
the host club, right?
right.
Fill out
Yeah,
that document completely. And then when we get to the stage where, if we're going to write this grant, the MOU would indicate that the host club,
yeah,
one of their, I mean, this is after the fact, if you will, but the host
right.
club would provide the community assessment. He can do that ahead of time,
Okay,
right?
and
And then
yes,
because then when we go to make a grant application, the community assessment will have been done by the host club in the
right.
host community, right? Which
Now,
carries a lot more weight with Rotary in terms of
right.
the grant. So I would start with that, Pamela, if I were you.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
what I may not have made myself clear. He's
Okay.
in Toronto. He just got done with the International Rotary meeting in
Okay.
Toronto. So he is wanting to return to India via Seattle.
Oh boy. Okay.
And
Well,
so what I mean is it could be days, a few days before he arrives.
okay.
And I'm just waiting to hear back from him.
Okay.
So,
Well, we can certainly, I'll ask Wade and Ed about that, but there's nothing that says we can't, because we're a new club, we're innovative, we can do what we want, according to Ian Risley, the
Mhm.
president of Rotary. If he says, hey, Pamela, I'm available next week, I'd like to talk to your club, we can
yeah,
schedule a quick ad hoc meeting with
okay,
him and those members who would like to sign on and learn more about it and discuss it. We can certainly do that.
sounds good.
All right. That's
Sounds
why we're
good.
different, right?
That's right.
All
Yeah.
right.
I'm glad we
That's
talked
right.
about it, Bill.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. Wade, ideas about how we're different, how we can be viable, and how we can be sustainable.
Well, how we could be different, I think, is a lot of what we have been talking about. What Fred had mentioned, being thinking out of the box a little bit about what we could have our programs be. I think that's really important. Being able to have conversations about what everybody feels is important for Rotary to be doing. It could be really interesting to have an open discussion one evening where we have a topic and everybody gets a chance to say a few words about what they think about various things, whether that's not necessarily what our role should be, but maybe in a greater sense what Rotary's role in the world is.
Mhm.
And by virtue of having those conversations, we could get, as a board, we can get some wonderful direction where we might have been lacking before in our questionnaire about where we want to go. Maybe bringing it up in the moment, and then after those meetings, being able to share the conversation, share highlights from those conversations with the membership that might not have been able to come.
Right.
And then that could elicit some interest and might be an opportunity to build some participation.
And we can
So,
do that with our recordings.
correct.
And I could
Yeah.
always send an email after the fact and say, the topic of the day was,
Hmm.
please look at the recording,
I
and
think that's a
please send
great idea.
send me
Yeah.
your comments on that recording. Add to what we've already talked about. So that's a fantastic idea, Wade. So how do we determine what the topic of the day would be? I don't want to do it on my own. I'd like to have the board or somebody say, hey, Bill, I really think next month we should discuss some
It could be
topic.
just like a topic within an avenue of service, right? So it could
Okay.
be one thing that I've and I participated in clubs before, and one of the things I kind of needle them on from time to time is talking about vocation. It is an avenue of service. It's always been an avenue of service, but what I've noticed is probably it's one of the least leaned upon avenues of service is vocation. So maybe having a conversation about what does the vocation avenue of service mean to you, and then having a discussion about that, and then you could do the same thing with the other ones, and maybe get some ideas for topics from, I don't know if you're a part of the LinkedIn Rotary group. I find that is an excellent source of topical, interesting questions about what's going on in Rotary today. And then some of these discussions are very insightful. I mean, to be honest, the one about Rotary's position on firearms
Oh yeah.
was, as you know, was a very it was a good conversation because it got people to speak up. It got people to say what they feel, and right or wrong, it got engagement.
Oh yeah.
And
It sure did. It sure did.
and so we
Yeah.
shouldn't be afraid to
No.
trip into those areas a
Okay.
little bit. I think, and that is unique, right? So
That's
that
a
would
great
be.
idea, Wade.
You've got my head spinning, Wade. So how do we have, okay, that was fantastic. So how do we phrase this and say, okay, the second meeting of the month is going to be a topic of the topic of discussion is going to be, and we say it's vocations. How do we, for example, we have 6 or 7 people who are new to Rotary. How do we make that a topic and attractive? Because they, we have our avenues of service. Well, a newer member doesn't even know what the avenues of service are,
Right.
and they don't know what the areas of focus are. How do we phrase something like that so they're going to go, oh yeah, I want to jump in and have some input on that?
Mm-hmm. I think from a new person perspective, I think a great thing would be to share the text, of what that avenue of service is from Rotary.
Okay, all right,
right. So I don't even think it's a paragraph. It's maybe a sentence or something.
right.
And then from that, maybe a teaser, a spoiler of what it is that the conversation may go to, right?
Okay.
And I'm just kind of struggling to come up with something that might be kind of a teaser about vocation, since we're kind of leaning on that one a little bit. One perspective might be, how appropriate is it for a program to be focused on the vocation of a particular individual? Is it I'm struggling with the description of the word that would be having that person up there to be promoting themselves, right, instead of being educational.
Okay.
So where's the line? Where do you draw the line with that?
Right.
And so that might be something that would get the interest of others who knew what that avenue of service was.
Sure.
And then
So you
something
have people
a little
who are,
controversial.
yeah. So you have people who are experienced. You have people who are new.
Right.
One thing, okay, I'm just throwing this together here because if we talked about vocation, and you talked about what Rotary is doing in the world, what if you talked about your teaser, right? We talked about, we put the Rotary paragraph in there about, okay, next month's topic will be on vocational service. This is how Rotary defines vocational service. Then we can say, how does your vocation help Rotary do good in the world?
Right.
Some little thing like that,
Good.
right?
No, that's good.
That would be kind of yes, Pam.
I'm sorry. One thing that would help, I think, because it helped me, is there anything that you would do even without being paid? Is there, I don't like to overuse the word passion, but a vocation usually is steering a person in the right position of what they were created to do, because they have the gifts to do it, they have the heart to do it. And if that's something that you would be doing, say on your weekends or evenings, without bringing in a paycheck, what would that be? What would it look like?
Oh, I
And
like that. What would you do
with your time,
with your time without it?
with no
Say that
pay.
again, because that was I'm writing this down. What
With your free time,
you
evenings,
do
weekends, whatever your free time looks
with
like,
your
what
free time.
time that
Okay.
would bring about for you, satisfaction isn't the right word, fulfillment, that you have done something that has been, you've been eager and you've been wanting to do. And for most people, it's going to be something that you are not going to get paid for, because you are not going to step into a position and get money unless you've got the experience in that area. And in fact, I had a conversation with a man today. I had left my business card and he fixed my jewelry, and he wanted to know about for himself. He said, I'm at a point where I really need to give myself. I haven't given myself for a long time, and I'm at a place where I really need to do that. And I understood what he was saying. One of the terms that we use at the prison, the people that volunteer, is we're the happiest when we're giving ourselves away.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you two know this, but Pamela works with people who are incarcerated. Is that the proper way to say that, Pam?
Yes. Yes.
And who are looking to change their lives, improve their lives, and do something better when they're out in the community. And Pamela, I want to thank you. That's a tremendous thing that you do.
Oh,
Uh,
we love it. We wouldn't do anything else.
But I
really.
mean, there aren't many people who, I mean, I'm a former military police officer, and I did some work like that. Unfortunately, my part was to make sure they stayed incarcerated. But your work is amazing, helping them transition
Well,
to society. And thank you for that.
You're
You know what?
so welcome.
I would like, if you would want to, I would love to have that as a program in our club in the
Sure.
future.
Sure.
Is what you do
Okay.
to help people transition back into society,
I would love to.
to change their
There's-
lives,
Yeah. Well, to hopefully for the better, where they're not going to return, and their family,
Yeah.
their family. One thing that I'm working towards with mediation is I want everyone to understand what's going to happen when this person is released.
Yeah.
And so have some very meaningful mediation sessions between the family members and the incarcerated before they get out.
Yeah.
So they all know what to expect.
And they need that family support because,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how many times have I watched the news and seen a person repeat over and over and over again,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they're on their own. They have no family.
Oh,
And the only thing that might be a family is a gang they belong to. But of course,
you're right.
but of course that gang is not safe or secure
Yeah.
anymore, right?
Right.
So
You know,
Pamela, I'll email you later about setting up a schedule and have you be one of the programs. I think that's amazing. It doesn't matter if it's Ed, doesn't matter if it's in BC, it doesn't matter if it's in Washington State. How do you get people back into society after they've finished their
Mhm.
required punishment? If I guess that's the proper word.
Right. That's
So,
right.
Okay, so Ed, your turn, sir. What do you think we need to do to help our club maintain its difference, to be viable, and to be sustainable?
Well, we're different because I'm making some notes here.
Good.
You don't have to pay to eat.
It's true, right?
You
There
don't-
are
you don't
no
have to- you
there
don't
are
have to-
no
you don't have to
fines. There are
drive
no
somewhere.
meals.
That's right.
I've driven for hours trying to find it and taken taxis in London trying to find a club to make up at.
Yes.
You know, it's the frustration level is crazy. Online, as long as you just, you know, if you can figure out what you know what the code word is, just jump in.
That's
You know,
exactly
you
right.
don't have to drive anywhere, dress up, park. You know, there's no sergeant arms to find you. You can still have the same camaraderie though, and still enjoy each other's
You
company.
do.
I think those,
Right.
I think those, and I'm a marketer. I like marketing stuff. I was thinking of things here is this, we have this district newsletter, and I think we should you should, Bill, put a column in there. You should ask to have an e-club column.
Okay. Ooh,
Mm,
ooh, I like that.
And
yeah.
the e-club column is, first off, and the first thing is just why an e-club? And
Okay, I'm
say
writing this down.
exactly-
So ask for an e-club column in the district newsletter.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. And then
because
why
we are different.
an e-club, right? Okay. Got
And
it.
why you got involved in the e-club.
Okay, why me? Okay.
Start with you. You're the point man.
Okay.
And then say you know for all the other reasons. I mean, this is why we decided to start that. Because I'm older, or I'm retired, or I travel so much, because basically I just don't love making up at meetings. Philosophy in Rotary, and this is my personal philosophy in Rotary for me at Gistling, is that if I can't give 100% to my local club, I have difficulty being a member.
Right.
Because I felt guilty being in South for 6 months of the year, and I don't want to feel guilty,
Correct.
because I
Okay.
know that I'm not there for. I end up, you know, at my club back in Mill Bay, I was writing checks for things that I wasn't even at, because I felt that was my way. I was my penance or some damn thing.
Great
So
point.
what would we call that, Ed? Commitment?
Well, I think it's just
How would you
opportunity
phrase
to stay
that?
involved. I know commitment to me sounds onerous. I
Okay.
think I'd rather look at something like an opportunity to stay involved.
Yes.
Opportunity to
Yes.
stay involved. Thank you.
Yeah, to make me feel better about myself. And I think that'll strike a chord with a lot of people out there.
Okay.
I agree. Ed. That's really good.
And I also think you want to. I think we should promote, quite frankly, in terms of some sort of viability, is we should really challenge people to make up at an e-club.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think we should actually say, look, you make up at an e-club, and Bill McCarthy's going to send you a little
Uh-oh.
diploma.
Uh-oh.
Just something silly that I made up at an e-club. You know, I had an opportunity to spend a couple of nights in a submarine, and I became a submariner, and I got this little card saying I'm an official submariner, which is just a joke, but
I know.
I loved it. And
Okay.
I got it on my wall, and I'll never ever get rid of it.
Well,
So
what's
I
the
think-
incentive? Is that the incentive? Make up at Rotary E Club 5020, and the president will send you a special
Yeah.
thank you certificate.
Here's the deal. I've talked
I
to
like
many
that. It's fun.
Rotarians I've talked to many Rotarians over the last few months. I don't think I met more than 2 people that knew that there even was an e-club. So
That
this
knew
is a
what?
chance to say. This is like saying getting a piece of the Berlin Wall, for Christ's sake. You know, I mean, make it like it's something that you should have on your wall.
Okay. I love that. If they make up at our club, and you know what? Heck, they've got Microsoft has dozens of templates. I could get a thank you for making up at our club certificate. I can scan it and I can email it with my signature on it right to the member, couldn't I?
Have the
Who made
Rotary
up.
emblem on the top. Have the Rotary emblem on the top.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
And just simply say, you know, people say, yeah, I made up an e-club. And then the second thing is, of course, tell your friends, you know,
Oh,
brag
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Make
I like it.
something-
That's
make
an
it something
easy-
that it's sort of make it sort of like, oh yeah, I saw Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? You saw Hamilton? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Our exchange, just a side note, our exchange student is from Austria, and she is huge on theater. And in the local high school, she's been in a play. She was, what was she? She was in the Beauty and the Beast, and she loved it. She knows every line. Well, she told our club, "Oh my God, if I could, and she says, "Gott, oh my God, if I could only go to Hamilton," right? Well,
Exactly.
my wife and I and her host parents and the Rotary Club chipped in, and we got her to Hamilton. That
Oh.
young girl
Wow.
has the entire play memorized. I I don't know, I've not seen it, but apparently there's a point in there where they rap.
Oh,
They
yes.
rap something, a line, or they rap a whole thing about whether it's the Constitution or something, right? She has that entire rap sequence memorized. But she's going to go home.
So basically, what we're going to do is just make it unique. We are unique. And to make it viable, we have to be able to offer people something that they want, which is accessibility.
Accessibility. I like that.
Yeah.
Viability. Make Rotary accessible to them, right?
Exactly.
Where otherwise may not be. Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Accessible.
Meeting people that you may not have ever had the chance to meet.
Meet new people.
Like I'd like to see the screen full of little see Wade
Little
and Pam
faces.
or something. Whole bunch of all that.
Hey, my
How many
goal,
people-
Ed, is one day. I know it's going to take a while, and like Pamela said, hang in there, Bill. Be patient. One day,
Yeah.
I would like to see us all reduced to a little finger thumbnail or
Yeah.
little fingernail on the screen, right?
Exactly.
Wouldn't
Well,
that be great?
and when they join on that evening, Bill, how about they are permitted to have a little sign under, it says where they're from.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hang on. Okay, so say that again. So how would we do that? If
Well-
they're making up from another place, they would have
Right.
like a little card that they could put like in front of their chest that says,
Exactly. They could hold
I'm
it.
from Rotary Club of New Westminster,
Right.
Southwest London, right? Ooh,
Right.
I like
My
that.
name is, yeah.
So a name tag, cool. Name tag card or something like that. Where
As a
from?
part of their introduction. We need to be sure they have time to tell us who they are and where they're from and make them feel very, very invited. And
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, you just gave me an idea too. I need to email our 34 twin E-clubs
Oh,
how to join us for a meeting. How to join a meeting with us,
great.
right?
Mhm.
Because who knows, out of those 34 clubs, we may get someone to join us just for the
Oh, I
evening.
think
Say,
so.
hey, what are you doing? And get that international flavor going, right?
that's right.
Ooh, I love it. Okay.
That's right.
All
By
right.
the way, I think one of the things we should think about is that we should really be promoting under our webpage. Find some links to Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, because English speaking, and their time zone right now, they're like 12:30, 1:30 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So they can make up easier
Yeah.
than France can at 4 in the morning. Because right now it's 4:35 in the morning right now.
Okay. So I have
I
some
know-
E-clubs. Oh, I'm sorry, Pamela. Go ahead.
I know, I was just going to say, I know Shillong, the members of Shillong would dial in, and they're about 8 hours difference.
Okay. Ed, I have some E-club links on the website already, but
Yeah.
what I hear you saying is I should widen those links a little more with English-speaking clubs. I think some of them were not. Uh-oh, I lost Wade. English-speaking clubs, right?
Well, but you could, but maybe if you do, Bill, perhaps is, and it takes a little bit of work on your behalf or whatever, is find out the district, the online web pages for Australia and New Zealand.
Australia and New Zealand, okay?
Just start there. I don't know how many districts there are there. I don't know how many, but and say, send a little column or something or a little blurb saying, hey, look, did you know that we have an E-club that meets at 7 o'clock on Thursday night, which is only 1 o'clock your time or 12 o'clock your time. If you can't make up at our club, sort of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got it. Yes, Pam.
Well, I know what I was thinking as far as finding clubs overseas is, I know there's a listing that Rotary International has, with all of the clubs and where they're from. I'm not sure if they designate the particular E-Club ones versus the other ones, but I wasn't asking to be called upon, but I was just thinking out loud with that, Bill.
Okay, I got to let you know, these microphones are very sensitive. So if you
Yeah.
just go, you're
Oh,
on.
wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
Try something here. I'm going to have you say something and see if your picture is framed in yellow.
okay, I'm going to say something right now, and it's not framed in yellow.
Oh, mine is.
Okay.
When you talk, is framed.
Okay,
Okay.
we're
So
getting way back.
okay, we're getting way back.
I find that
Ed?
whoever's talking, it's framed in green.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Is it green?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm colorblind, so I thought it was yellow.
Waves
Okay,
back on,
Ed.
but there's no body. Waves back on, but there's no body there.
Yeah, I don't see a body. Hey, Ed, what about sustainability?
How about this? Well, I probably getting back to the marketing side. When's the next district convention for 5020?
Oh, not until next May or June.
So this is that's a long ways away, but I think what we should consider for that is those that go to that district convention, we should have almost a banner across our neck like Miss America has or something, or have a badge that says, I'm an E-Club member. Ask me why.
Oh, okay, I got an idea. We could do two things, Ed. We can have a badge, and I'm not sure, I think each member would have to pay for it, but we can agree upon a format, right? This is what our badge will look like. So wherever we go and have our club badge made, whoever we have it made with would have to be that format, right? That same style.
Right. We have to be the
So-
same, yeah.
All be the same. So if we get together for one of those social meetings I talked about, where I would go to Victoria, meet with Troy and Tanya and people, we'd all have the same badge, right? But
Right.
the other thing we could do is, and I can put something together, would be kind of fun, is those stick-on badges, right? Those name tags when you go to a conference and you have a
Yeah,
badge
sure.
you stick
Yeah.
on. We could say, I'm in an E-Club. Ask me why.
Yeah, simple as that.
And I could do that. Okay.
And
So
make it,
I'm going to
it
write
should
this
be big enough
down.
that it actually draws people's eyes to it. It shouldn't be subtle. It should be blatant.
I love it. Ask me why. Oh man, that's cool. So I'm in an E-Club. Ask me why. That would be fun, and I could send everybody the template. The only thing is everybody would have to go out and probably to their local office supply or Staples supply and get a box of those stick-ons,
Yeah.
right? But and then next time if you go to a Rotary meeting anywhere, Ed, even if you made up someplace, you could slap that on. You could print out a whole page of them, and when you go to a meeting, slap that on and say, "I'm in an E-Club. Ask me why."
That's right.
I like it. I love it.
And then I'm back to, Bill, what I brought up a long time ago, that we should either all have a badge or we should all have business cards that
Yes.
have just for our E-Club business cards that we can pass out. If they
Okay.
ask you why and you're giving them an answer that they like,
I love it.
and they're
Okay.
saying, how do I do it? You've got a business card that tells them how to do it.
Okay. Business card on one side and the back side, how to join.
Yeah, or
How'd you join?
room also for that member's name to go and their contact information.
Okay, yes. On the front of the business card would be your name, your email, and the back side would say how to join an E-Club. How to join an E-Club. Talk to me or contact me. Right? Okay. All right. Oops, I lost my camera here. Sorry.
I don't think, Bill, I
There I
don't think I would put on that how to join an E-Club.
No. Okay.
I think I'd rather just keep it really friendly. It's because a lot of people will say to you, well, I'm a member of Rotary and I go to all the meetings and I love Rotary and I love going to meetings. Say, great. I'm not after you to join our club. Do you know
Okay.
others that, but when you tell them, here's why I am a member of an e-club, then when they listen to one of their friends saying, well, you know, I think I'm going to quit because I can't do this.
Oh.
That's when they say, well, guess what you can do?
Okay.
See, so it's
Okay.
sort of an introduction way of
So
Yeah.
we
put
could take
seeds-
Pamela's
put seeds in
idea
their
and
life.
expand it a bit and say, okay, in the front of the business card is Pamela Deacon Joyner, email, phone number, and the back of it is,
I
back of
wouldn't
it
have,
is, why am I in an e-club? Remember we talked about that earlier, Ed?
No,
I don't know if I'd go to that extent, Bill. That's
No?
going to be crazy for you. I think something very generic that we can all pass them around and share to take with us. I'm in an e-club, ask me why. And then they're going to ask you why. And then on the back of this business card that you have with you in your pocket, it's going to just give contact for 5020 e-club if they have any
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
So a basic e-club business card.
yes.
And
because guess who sells Rotary? Not a card, what's written on it, but the person talking to you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But when they walk off, they're not going to know who to contact.
No, that's what I'm saying. But put the contact information definitely on the back,
Yeah.
but
Of the
don't
card.
put the reason why in the back. The reason,
No,
all the
no.
reasons why is you tell them, here's the reasons why.
oh,
And
okay,
let-
so
let
you
you
don't
plant that seed, they'll understand.
okay, Ed, so you don't print that on the card. If somebody says, "Oh, hey, why are you in an e-club?" then you tell them.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't list it on the card itself.
No,
Okay, all
because
right.
my reasons for joining an e-club might be different from Wade's or Pam's.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
But the reality is, it all turns around to the same thing. We want to stay involved.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, because we're at our time, and I don't want to keep anybody after. So I have Ed, I have Pam, I have Wade. I'm going to take all these notes. I'm
Oh,
going to put them in a document. I'm going to send them to you all. And I would like you all to tell me, did I capture what you said? And I didn't write down whether it came from Pam or Ed. I just wrote them down under the
that's okay.
categories.
No problem.
Different, viable, sustainable. I'll put this together. I'll send it out to you. If I missed anything, let me know. If you want to add anything, let me know. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then send this out to the rest of the membership and say, what would you like to add to this?
Yeah.
And then we're going to start having some real good discussions, I hope, in the future.
Yeah.
Let's really narrow this down and decide who we want to be in this club.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And Bill, I'd like to, if you phone up whoever's doing the district newsletter, find out what their blue line date is to get something into the next newsletter. You may have missed
Okay.
it, who knows?
Yeah, I'm going to put that.
And put something in about the e-club and say this is the reason why it's been formed, and we're here, we're viable already, we're the future.
Yep.
For people, for certain types of Rotarians, we are the future.
Okay, and what I also heard you say, Ed, is that I would like to somehow get permission from that newsletter editor, who, by the way, I know personally, at least this year anyway, is how can we have a column in there?
Yeah, I think the type
Keep a column, a
specifically
permanent column.
you know, from the members of e-clubs, from the members of e-club 502.
Mhm.
And then tell them what we're doing as this new e-club, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
And
great.
a good subject is the twinning we're doing with 34 other e-clubs around the world. That would be a great start, wouldn't it?
Actually, it is. It absolutely is. But what that's telling people is that we're not an anomaly. We really are part of a much larger group of family of e-clubs.
Yep.
But I think we had to get back to a very simple basics. Why, Bill, did you think you had to have an e-club in this district?
Okay.
And speak from your heart. Say, because I can't go to meetings. I want to stay involved in Rotary. This is something that was already there. We embraced for this district because this is what we need.
Yep. I started this club. My goal in starting this club was for people like Wade, who is so busy every day. My son's in computers. Two of my sons are in computers, Wade. You don't have a schedule. It's whatever your customer wants, right? Pamela, you've moved out to an area that's
Yes.
not accessible to an immediate Rotary Club.
That's
Uh,
right.
Ed, you are back and forth. You're
Travel,
snowbirding and all that, right? You can't
Yeah.
really sit in one club very long. Uh, uh, I could easily be in my own local Rotary club, but I started this club for people who had left Rotary, and I wanted to bring them back. I wanted to reconnect them to Rotary. That
That's
was
your
my
angle. Billy.
personal
That's your
reason.
angle. That's your angle. Speak from the heart and people will listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought you just liked enjoying wearing headphones.
I only do it. I know I don't have a new monitor yet. When I get a smart monitor, this will be different. But when I'm on my laptop or my Surface, I don't need these, right?
That's it.
But
Right.
for my desktop, I currently need that, right?
See, that's why, Bill, that day at Parkland Spanaway, I
Yes.
didn't recognize you right away. You didn't have
She didn't. I walked up to her and says, "Oh, Pamela, hi." And I went to give her a hug, and she's like, "Well, wait a minute, hello, who?"
No, I didn't.
Hey, Bill.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I
I
felt
know you want to sign off, but is it next week that we have the mayor of Esquimalt talking?
Yes, sir.
I think we should figure out how we're going to get some numbers for that.
I am going to. John Thomas sent me an email today. It says, "Bill, we need people on." I am going to send an email out this weekend. My wife's going to help me construct it, so it's urgent.
Yeah.
It's not demanding, but we need as many of our members to be there because we have the mayor of Esquimalt. It's important that we recognize that, we honor her with our presence, and it's a very important topic. We're talking about something that's going to change the water quality,
Mhm.
for years to come and improve it. But out of respect, the fact that this mayor has taken her time to be with us, we need to be online and listen to her.
So why don't we contact Esquimalt Rotary Club, or Victoria Rotary Club, Harborside Rotary Club, Sydney,
Oh, great idea.
Port Angeles,
Seattle.
Seattle, Gig Harbor.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
And say, look,
anybody in the set, everybody who's affected immediately with beachfront
Wanda
to
Fuca.
sound.
Everybody know Wanda Fuca.
Ooh,
Good
that's
idea.
I love
Mhm.
that. Beachfront to sound, and invite them
And just say, this is a must listen to.
our meeting.
Because it's going to happen.
And give them the link to our website so they can then click on the link to join the meeting.
Exactly.
Oh man, I'm so glad you're in our club, Ed. You have seriously, you have fantastic ideas.
Yep. Well done.
You are not allowed to go on vacation, Ed. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
he can go on vacation because he can join our meetings anywhere in the world.
I'm not quite.
Well-
you have to have internet access. That's not available in the mountains in some places. But anyway,
Thank you, Ed.
Ed,
Thank you, Pam.
Oh,
By the way, Pam, where are you situated?
I'm in Grapeview, Washington, which is about 30 minutes away from the Gig Harbor Rotary,
Oh, good. Okay.
out in the beautiful country of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Sound, the Puget Sound.
Gorgeous.
yeah, I looked her up in Google and I found where she is. Are you on the lakefront there or not?
No, we're about 400 feet up a hill overlooking the bay.
But you can see it. But you can see it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, we can see it off the back of our property. And we
Oh,
just
wow.
built my husband a music, what do you call it, studio out there.
Oh,
So he's
wow.
got a view.
For those of you who
Yeah.
don't know, Pamela's husband is an accomplished musician. I mean,
Really?
very accomplished.
Writing music or playing an instrument?
Both. He's a jazz pianist. He's
Ooh.
also an academic, yes, and author, books, and so forth. So
That sounds like a topic for a meeting.
it does,
I
doesn't
think
it?
so too, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Man, I cannot believe
Thank you, Bill.
how much information I got from you three tonight. But thank you. I will
Thank you.
put something together. I'll email it to all three of you. Let me know if I missed anything. Add anything if you have an afterthought, and then I'm going to put it out to the rest of the membership. This is great
You're
stuff to get everybody else thinking, right?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, and look
Wonderful
for another
president.
email from me encouraging everyone to be at the meeting. That this is one they have to be at to show
That's right.
respect to the mayor.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. And Ed, thank you for
Thank you.
joining the board.
Yep. Thank
Thank
you, Ed.
you, Ed.
Night,
Wade,
everybody.
and
Bye-bye.
thank
Good
you,
night.
Bill.